What's going on, black people? What's happening? I hope you guys are doing well. Today we have the $1 trillion question. The $1 trillion question for today is: are rappers doing enough to close the racial wealth gap? Are rappers doing enough for the black community? I actually took a poll, and I'm going to share the results of the poll with you in 1 second. So get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about black wealth and black economics every day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day under one condition. The condition is that we are black first. Black first means that we put our community at the top of our priority list and we don't care who gets in the way. Black first means that our kids are going to be better educated than your kids. Black first means that our kids are going to be prepared for the future economically by any means necessary. If you agree with that philosophy, put a hashtag B in the number one of the chat, hashtag B1. That is the calling card if you want to join B1 conversations out here. All right, so let's jump into this conversation. Brick City says Boyce Watkins always changes my mood from bad to good. Good. Well, let me just say this. I'm gonna start this off by saying that I want to have a good conversation about the rappers. I'm not here to beat up on hip hop. I have evolved. I have been myself very frustrated with some of the stuff I've seen from that music industry. Those racist sons of bitches that just they just believe anything's okay as long as it's making money, right? We rapping about popping mollies and killing black people. Well, that's cool as long as you ain't saying nothing negative about gay people, saying nothing negative about white women, saying nothing negative about Jewish people. Anything goes when it comes to black people, but everybody else is protected. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm here to pull out my sword and protect my community just like you protecting everybody else. You protecting that little man over there wearing the dress? Well, I'm going to protect the black man who wants to put his pants on and defend his family. You want to protect that white female? Well, I'm going to protect the black female. I think it's okay to protect ourselves. If you agree with that philosophy, just put a yes in the chat to let me know I'm not by myself. Because sometimes you get out here and you say things like, I want us to be more intelligent as a people. And next thing you know, people getting mad. What's wrong with you? You a hater. You a snob. You elitist. You elitist. Ain't nothing elite about wanting black people to succeed. There's nothing elite about wanting to break generational curses. There's nothing elite about saying, I don't want my kids to feel like in order to be, if you ain't traumatized, then you ain't black. Anybody ever seen that where people really think you ain't black because you didn't have a gun put to your head in the third grade and you didn't have to, step over crack pipes to get to your parents and you didn't have to dodge bullets on the way to school. Anybody ever see that? I don't like that, man. I don't want that for the kids, man. Is there something wrong with me for saying that I don't want my children to have to dodge bullets and crack pipes in order to have what is considered a normal black experience? I want my kids looking like Will Smith up at Bel Air, right? That's what I want. I want my kids rolling like the Fresh Prince. I want them to be sitting up there next to Carlton, not acting like Carlton now, but sitting next to Carlton at the fancy school, living the good life, man. That's what I want. Is there something wrong with that? Is that bad? Does that mean I ain't keeping it real? I ain't keeping it 100? Really? I personally think that there's a lot of people who agree with me, even the ones who rap about it, even the ones who they got because it went from gangster rap to trap music, then they got drill rap. But I bet you that if you look into the lifestyle of if you look into the soul of every gangster rapper, every trapper, whatever the hell you want to call it, or every drill rapper, it's the successful ones now, and look at what they're doing with their kids. Are they sending their children to the crack house in order to just have a black experience? Are their kids dodging bullets on the way to school, or are their kids going to private school? Right? So you got to pay attention. Young Jeezy, I see you. I see how you're raising your children to go to college and live a normal, healthy life. I mean, you're rapping about the trap, right? Because you got to keep it real. You got to keep it thug, whatever, keep it gangster. But when you're talking to your son, your daughter, I don't know if he has a son or a daughter. I can't remember which one. You're sending your kids to college, man. And my point is to say, I think all of us want Black people to be safe and healthy and happy. I like to believe that deep down, we all truly believe or want to believe that Black lives really matter. So, in order for Black lives to matter, then that would mean that we have to speak to, again, humbly, with grace, with peace, to our hip hop artists to say, can we speak life into our people as opposed to death? Can we elevate our people as opposed to celebrating the debauchery? Can we lift them up as opposed to crush them down with I know that Jewish man is paying you big money to rap about only God knows what. I know that white man wrote a big check for you to go and perform and say, women ain't nothing but raggedy hoes and everybody needs to pop Molly before they go to bed. And I shot 3 Black dudes yesterday. I know they paying you good money to do that. But here I am. I don't have the white man's money. I'll never have his money. I don't have $1 billion to pay you. But I got $1 billion worth of love for you. I got a multi-trillionaire community that is dependent on you to use your platform in a way that is going to uplift as opposed to suppress. Now, this is getting to the economic conversation. Actually, I want to talk specifically not just about the economics of what's going on with hip hop, but also the racial wealth gap. And also, I want to show respect to a rapper that I know very well, who I have tremendous respect for, by the name of Killer Mike. Give me a yes in the chat if you know Killer Mike. If you know Killer Mike, if you've heard his music, if you know who he is, put a yes in the chat. Let's shout out Killer Mike. Because Killer Mike is a great guy, and I think Killer Mike deserves to be truly respected. And somebody says, I want to put you in contact with KRS-One. Absolutely. I've never met Chris, but I would love to meet him and talk to him directly. I met one of my other favorite rappers the other day, Immortal Technique, and that was we had a wonderful 2-hour conversation. I just think that guy's great. All right. So anyway, Michael Render, that's his name. Oh, and my email manager at boycewatkins.com. That's my manager at boycewatkins.com. My email gets too much stuff in it. I don't even read email, to be honest with you. All right, so here's the deal. So Killer Mike, so here's how it started, right? So last week, I'm doing kind of a follow-up to a discussion that we had last week. So last week, I posted something that George Frazier shared. George Frazier, his Power Networking conference is in August, and I'm going to be speaking there. So I suggest you go take a look at that. And I put up this post, right? And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. If you're on Instagram, you won't see it. But you saw it on Instagram. My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. It was an image of a lot of rappers, very famous people in the picture, holding up glasses of whatever, toasting their success. Look at us. This is Black excellence, y'all. This is success. You got T.I., Jim Jones, DJ Khaled, Yo Gotti, Diddy, Jay-Z, a lot of other people in the picture, right? A lot of hip hop artists. And what happened with this image that's really interesting is that some people said, yes, look at this. This is Dr. King's dream. This is the American dream. They're doing so well. This is great. This is Black excellence personified. And I didn't totally disagree with that. But then there were some who stepped in and said, is this really Black excellence? Is this really the pinnacle of success? Does this really represent so-called success? What is success? What is success? Well, the thing about success that's kind of funny is that when you're Black, success can come in a lot of different forms. And sometimes what you receive that you think is success really ain't success, right? I remember you basically kind of make white people into your economic guides. So if I'm a white man and I say, okay, I want to create some artificial Black success, what I do is I grab some ignorant dude, who has nothing good to say about the Black community, and I give him $10 million and I put him on TV. And then I have him go rap about how he has $10 million in the bank and he's on TV. And then people will say that's success. So now, again, this is how they spread the poison to your community. So then you can send him on a tour to every elementary school in America where he comes into the school and the teacher says, look at him, look at how successful he is. And he stands in front of the kids and says, yeah, if you do what I do, you could be just like me. So kids, kids don't know that. Just see that. They're like, okay, I'm going to do like him because he got $10 million in the bank and he was on TV, so he must be successful. So give me a yes or no. Is that necessarily a measure of success? Give me a yes or no. Is that a success? Just being on TV and having money. Is that success? Yes or no? Automatically success. I'm going to say no. And the reason I'm bringing it up like that is because I want you to be able to discern not just how much money you have, but how you got that money. Y'all know money is my thing. I love to talk about money. I love to talk about wealth. I love to talk about investing, but also how you get the money really matters, because sometimes you can put $10 million in your bank account, but you've done $100 million worth of damage to your community. Right? I could go out and maybe I could, my wife and I were just watching a documentary about a white lady who was on crack, and she, in order to get more crack, to get money for crack, she got money by pimping out her 15-year-old daughter. So she had more money, so much so-called financial success, but the cost of her success was incredibly high. It was a price that was higher than any of us would ever pay. So ultimately, what I want is I want you to have real success, not crackhead success. Because crackhead success makes you think you're successful when you really aren't successful at all. It makes you feel successful when really you're kind of a failure, right? You claim success, but really you've stolen success away from others. So if I have made, pay attention now, here's where I'm going. If I've made $50 million spreading a message, marketing a message that is deadly and toxic to every young black male who follows my instructions, then I really don't have real success. I actually have crackhead success, right? Because I can show you where I have $50 million in the bank, but what you don't see is the $300 or $400 million worth of damage that has been done from, getting a million young black boys to divert their energy from productive activities to self-destructive activities. This is where it gets a little murky. So there are some people who argue that what rappers say has no influence, that rappers just, they just being artists. They're just saying what they say. America was messed up, before rappers came along, which is true. American systems, they put them in the trap. They're only rapping about the things they know about. Some of that's true, right? All that should be heard. All those points should be heard. But I want to ask you all a question. Let's do a quick straw poll amongst intelligent black people. Do you believe that rappers have influence on the listener, especially young children? Do you believe, give me a yes or no, do you believe that the words and the lyrics and the actions of hip hop artists influence society on any level? Do you believe that a rapper can make people buy a certain product? Well, the answer is probably yes, because that's why corporations pay them money. They say, oh, well, here, we'll give you $1 million to, chew on a cheeseburger, and then people will go buy that cheeseburger. Corporations ain't stupid. They do the calculations, right? So to say that artists have no influence and that their words don't matter is simply not true. The evidence does not support that statement. So the reason that this conversation with hip hop artists has to occur is because it's like when you were little, when your mama said, when you leave this house, you're representing the family. Well, the same thing can be said about rappers. When you go out into the world and you present yourself in a certain way, you are not just representing yourself, you are representing the family. And also, just like the family, when you go out here and you act an ass and you embarrass the family, or you create a perception of the family that is not accurate and true, the family ends up paying a price for your behavior. Right. So if you present the image that every black man is a woman-hating thug that wants to kill other black people, well, then that means that if I'm going to court and I'm being judged by a jury of my peers who don't know any black people other than the ones they've seen on TV, they're going to apply those stereotypes in terms of how they evaluate and how they judge me. So it doesn't just mean that you're representing the family. It means that the family also has to check that ass if you're out here behaving in a way that is problematic for the rest of us. Now, with that said, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up if you haven't done it yet. And I want to share both sides of this argument. And by the way, I want to mention this too. If you're a woman, there's a great women's conference being hosted by Lene Javette, who is an excellent business coach. I've worked with Lene for about 8 years now, and I love this lady. She's brilliant. She's gathered about 20 black women for the Black Pow Her conference, HER. It's women only, so men, we can't go. But this is going to be really lit. It's online. You can go. I put a link on BoyceWatkins.com. If you go to BoyceWatkins.com, you can find the link on my website, or if you're on Instagram, just hit the link in the bio. And I think she's offering a discount, so feel free to go take a look. All right. So let me show you. Something else. So here's the deal. So when this image was kind of questioned, when George Frazier correctly basically put out a point to say, look, there's $1 billion in this picture, and there's not a single black-owned factory. There's no industry. There's no. He said a lot of stuff. It was a lot of stuff related to the fact that, despite the fact that you have a lot of these so-called successful black people, there's nothing really to show for it on an aggregate scale. Now, sure, there's probably a couple mansions in there, a few Bentleys in there, maybe a couple burger joints, where they hired 4 or 5 people in the burger joint. That's all there. But in terms of large scale impact on the racial wealth gap, some would argue that that's just not the case. Right now, here's the thing. I think that this statement can be made without hating on the rappers. I think the statement can be made in a way where you say, okay, you know what? If you're not sure how to build industry, we have an army of black people, thousands of them, that can show you exactly what to do. Right. But what we would need is for us to stop, as a community, stop celebrating some Negro just because he got on TV, stop celebrating him just because he got a record deal, and start challenging him to say, hey, there's a little bit more you could do. You have 50 million followers on Instagram. Maybe there's more constructive stuff that could be done other than you getting on there arguing with your baby's mama. Right now, again, some of these guys just don't know it. But then some guys know it, but they don't listen. They don't respect the community, or maybe they just don't want to elevate their thinking, because sometimes when the white man's giving you money and white women are chasing you down, you somehow get to the point where you're like, I'm not black, I'm OJ. Right? You start to really believe that the black experience and the black struggle means nothing to you. So I'm really talking so much about, when I talk about the artists that I can relate to, the ones I can understand, I think about guys like Killer Mike, who is somebody who I know for a fact cares about black people very much. Killer Mike is not just a great guy, he's a great artist, and that is somebody I think we should love, respect, stand by, and protect under any circumstance. And Killer Mike made a statement that I'm actually going to share with you all, because I really want you all to hear both sides of the conversation. And then I'm going to share the results of a poll I took, because I'm a statistician, so I like to take polls and get data. But here's what Killer Mike said in response to George Frazier's statement. He said, I don't know about many others, but Tip, talking about T.I., is a real estate developer, and we have partnered on projects, and he is currently building 143 units of affordable housing and retail center in our old community. We are rebuilding a 50-year-old restaurant bought from a black woman. He, Jermaine, Jeezy, Dallas Austin, Big Boy of Outkast, and many other entertainers have become businessmen and keep many folks empowered and employed. I would argue that this picture represents at least 1,000 jobs. Remember that term, 1,000 jobs for blacks and beyond. The schools, be it LeBron's or Winston Academy and ATL, are essential and important too. All supported with these folks' dollars too. At any rate, I see the glass as half full. My great-grandparents left a farm for us that we still own, and I plan on leaving that and more for my grandchildren and community. Can we do better? Yes. Will we? Absolutely, we will. Love and respect. Black folks love y'all. So let me tell you, first reason I love that comment from Killer Mike is because it is an acknowledgement that the community is being heard. And that's what Killer Mike is really good about. He's really good about hearing people and responding. I mean, the man should be a politician if he's not already running for office as it stands. I would vote for him. Now, here's what I want to come back with and share as well. Now, I did a survey, though. And the survey with you guys, I did it on my YouTube channel. I love to do surveys to see what you guys are thinking, because I want to hear the voice of you guys as well. And I said, do you think rappers do enough for the black community? Look at those results. 94% of you said no. 94%. That's 9 out of 10 black people, at least intelligent black people that follow this platform. So y'all ain't normal. Y'all not average Negroes. Let's just be clear about that. Y'all are some really special people in a good way, special in a good way, right? But still, 94% said no. So the question is, how do you reconcile that, right? Killer Mike making very good points about what T.I. and he are doing in Atlanta, and Big Boy from Outkast and some other guys and doing really good stuff. But then the community's not satisfied. The community's just looking over and saying, man, come on, man. This is white. This isn't really going anywhere, right? Well, let me kind of, now somebody said how many votes? It was a few thousand. I'm gonna say about 3,000. And I'm a statistician, so you really only need about 200 or 300 votes actually most of the time to really get a decent inference on the population. So you don't have to, just so y'all know, those who are not statisticians, just know you don't have to sample 1 billion people to get a good result. You really only need, 3,000 is too many actually, but that's about how many we have. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's where I think that there is areas for improvement, room for improvement. I'm tired of setting the bar low for rappers. I really am. I'm really tired of setting the bar low by saying, that if a guy, if a guy just, I don't know, invests $5,000 in a black-owned business, that's enough. Or he gives $3,000 to a community center or whatever. I don't like that. That doesn't mean anything to me. Because at the same time, I'm hearing that you invested $1 million with some white boys on Silicon Valley, but you gave $3,000 to the Black Community Center. That means pretty much that black people are getting your spare change. White people are getting your big boy money. White people are getting your big boy commitment. That's one of the problems, right? The other issue that you have is that when you talk about what rappers can and should do, their value is not in how much money they have. Their value is not in how much economic financial wealth they have. Their value is their influence. That's why you have so many deals that are done where a $1 billion tech company will make a move and they'll go find a rapper to be part of the board, and they'll say, look, we don't want any of your money. We just want your influence. How do you think that those Russians came in and were able to buy that the center where the Brooklyn Nets play? How do you think they were able to get that arena? Well, they called up Jay-Z. They said, Jay-Z, we'll give you this percentage, this tiny percentage. Gonna give you a little tiny like crumb percent, like a bitch tiny percentage of the team, and then we're gonna put you on a gigantic ass billboard in the middle of Times Square and make everybody think you're the owner. Right? Why do you think they did that? Well, that was a beautiful rope-a-dope. That rope-a-dope was we need a mascot. We need an influencer so that when people come and critique us and say, look, black people are getting screwed in this deal, we can say, no, look at that. We got Jay-Z. Why would you go against Jay-Z? Why you hating, dog? Why you be hating, dog? See that old, like, why you be hating, dog culture? Like, that kills a lot of progress in the community, because a lot of your critical thinkers are not haters. They're not trying to be haters. They're just thinkers. Stop discouraging black people from thinking. Stop thinking that every time somebody has a critical analysis that they just be hating. You just be hating. What you're doing is you are oppressing people into mob-like ignorant behavior where you don't take a moment to reflect on things before you move. You simply do what everybody else is doing because you're trying to follow the crowd. I ain't trying to follow the damn crowd. The crowd is how we got here. Following the crowd is what got you into the bullshit that you're in right now. So stop following the crowd. Seriously. You ain't got to be a hater. You ain't got to attack everything. But my Lord, can we at least stop and ask a question like, wait a minute, you're saying I need to vote and you got a pen that says I voted. Well, who did you vote for and why did you vote for them? Well, why you be hating? What's wrong with you? Well, no, I'm not hating. I just want to know, what did we get for the vote? Like, what did they deliver specifically that makes them worthy of our political attention and support? Well, you what's wrong with you? Shut up. Stop it. See, the problem that some of the problems you have with the community is sometimes we let the dumb kids drive the bus. We just do. We let the kids from the little bus drive the big bus, and then the bus goes off the cliff, and you wonder why. Stop letting the kids drive the bus who don't know how to drive. Okay, and so with that being said, let's go back to reconcile this point. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up if you haven't done it yet. Also, don't forget, tomorrow we have stock market investing class. If you want to do a free trial in the class, it's really good. And I get free stock picks and all that stuff. So feel free to go to boycewatkins.com and take a look. Stock market investing is my expertise. That's what my PhD is in. I would love to help you avoid all the nonsense that's out here. So feel free to join us. We meet every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, and there's 5 years of content available that you can go and dive into right this second. All right. So let's go back on this, right? Okay. So when you're talking about Killer Mike made a great point about how that picture of your wealthiest rappers, you got Jay-Z, billionaire, Diddy, billionaire, T.I., killing it. A lot of guys in there making a lot of money. He said that represents at least 1,000 jobs. Let me give you a basis of comparison in terms of what goes through my mind as an economist when you say 1,000 jobs. Let's look at white people. Elon Musk, now mind you, Elon Musk has more money than probably all the 10 richest rappers combined times 10. So he's got a lot more money than a Jay-Z. But Elon Musk has probably created with SpaceX and Tesla a good 150,000, 200,000 jobs for mostly white people. Let's look at Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos has created about 1.6 million jobs for mostly white people, right? Now, my argument would be if Jeff Bezos can create 1.6 million jobs for mostly white people, then I wonder if Jay-Z and Beyonce could create, say, 100,000 jobs or maybe 70,000 jobs for black people, right? When I got on with Kanye West on the phone, one of the first things he told me, I don't know why he told me because I ain't nobody, but he did tell me he was worth $4.6 billion. So my thought is if you're worth $4.6 billion, then you could probably create, 10,000 jobs, right? 20,000 jobs. One of the things that we do sometimes is we set the bar incredibly low. We don't understand. We don't sort of take the time to really think about what can really be done with the resources that you have. Now, here's the other deal too. We don't need your money. We don't need your money. If rappers are looking at the community and saying, damn, like they just want to have their hand in our pocket. We don't need your money. All we need is your influence. And all we need is for you to sit down with the smart people in the community and make a plan. So if you are a TI and let's say you take a coalition, let's make it a powerhouse coalition. But let's build a powerhouse coalition of some of my favorite rappers. Again, you got T.I. I love T.I.'s music. Great, brilliant artist. Ice Cube, that's the homie, right? Killer Mike. And let's throw in some couple other rappers. I know Jay-Z. Let's throw in Jay-Z and give me another rapper. Give me a couple more influential rappers that are really Kanye. We got Kanye. Anybody else? Somebody else give me the last rapper I can throw into the pack. Give me another one. Let's see here. Drake. No, not Drake. He's Canadian. All right, let's throw in let's throw in another. Give me one more. I need one more rapper. Jeezy. Okay, well, Jeezy. Give me somebody. Immortal Technique. There we go. Immortal Technique. Or Little Baby. Let's throw Little Baby. We're going to include the young people, right? Little Baby, Lil Wayne, and Snoop Dogg. Okay. So now think about this. If you add up all of the Instagram followers of that group, you're probably talking about over 100 million people. That right there is enough to build as many businesses as you want and to make them all do extremely well. Because right there you have mass marketing, which is right there. That's $1 billion worth, several $1 billion worth of economic value right there. But then number two, you really need people that are able to strategically design organizations that employ lots of people. So what you would do then is you sit there and you say, look, I'm the rapper. I can go and I'm the promoter. I can tell everybody how great the business is. I just need y'all to make a quality product that can be delivered to the customer in a professional way. All right. So you get your little team of nerds back there, your little Boyce Watkins types, and they sit back and they say, okay, we got, okay, well, I'm gonna get Kanye to go and put pressure on Apple. Let's not say Kanye, he's a bad example. We're gonna get Jay-Z to go get Apple and all these corporate sponsors to line up and give us the first $1 billion. The other $1 billion will come from banks. We'll go to banks and lay out our plan and get use those banking relationships, get another $1 billion. And then we're going to go and we're going to establish an organization that goes and hires 20,000 black people to run this thing. And you will go and promote it and make sure that whatever we create, whatever product we create is going to sell in the thousands and thousands of units. We're going to industrialize. That's my point. This is called industrialization. Industrialization is not what you see in much of the real world. What you see in terms of our culture is you see a little bit of what some might say is a little bit of a slave culture. And it's not in a bad way. A slave culture is when you just know how to work really, really hard. And you think about things in a sort of a one-off fashion. Like, I'm going to work really, really hard so that I can make a whole lot of money for me and myself, and that's it. But industrialization is where you pull together resources on a large scale. You build, massive brands that employ thousands and thousands of people in a broad scale organizational structure that impacts communities all around the world. So you need people that know how to be captains of industry. And you got those people in your community. The problem is that the rappers don't really talk to them. When the rappers meet captains of industry, they're usually meeting white boys in Silicon Valley. When rappers meet captains of industry, they're meeting that Jewish kid from Harvard who happens to be part of the NBA Players Association, who was the guy who's going to manage your money. All right, do y'all understand? Even the NFL Players Association, I have had so many reports of people coming back to me and talking about how they cock block any black-owned business, like grassroots black-owned businesses that try to connect to the athletes and entertainers and get some of that money and some of that influence to bring it back to the community. They block all that because they see the economic value of controlling the high-income black people. They just see it. They're like, no, you can't have it. No, we're gonna send an email out to all the players and tell them, warn them about. There's one organization, 40 Yards of Gold. There's two brothers. One's a dentist, and I forget what the other one does, but they both play football at the University of Michigan. They created a 40-yard dash competition that was very well done, very well executed. And they did a whole interview. It's on the blackbosschannel.com. I'll put the URL on the screen. I swear to God, they did an interview with Jeff Lighty Jr. where they basically seemed to feel that the NFL Players Association, at first they were like, we love the idea. We want to partner with you. Next thing you know, they're just saying negative things that cause them to lose all their corporate sponsors. Next thing you know, the whole business idea just dies. So what I'm saying to you is that there's a way to really make this work. There's a way to make this work on a massive scale. I think at the very beginning, we have to start by setting the bar at a higher level. Don't talk to me about how you created 12 jobs. Again, if you're supposed to be a rapper, you're big, whatever, big Sean, big this, big that. Rappers are big, they're loud, they're broad, they're flamboyant. They do this a lot, right? That's like what animals do when they're trying to mate. Like, look at how big I am. Well, if you're talking big about how many Birkin bags you bought your girlfriend, or you talking big about how many babies mamas you got pregnant last year, or you talking big about how big your Bentley is and how much money you got, then talk big about what you're doing for the black community. Talk big about the fact that you went out and you employed 50,000 black people. Show me an army of people that have jobs in your old hood because you leveraged all your connections. These white people love you. They listen to you in a way that they'll never listen to people like me. I scare white people when I walk in the room, and I smile a lot, but I still scare them. I scare you the way they get scared of me. You would think I was walking in with an AK-47, but they are scared. You know what they're scared of? They're scared of this. They're scared of the big black brain, and I'm taking that with me everywhere I go. So here's what we do: we do good cop, bad cop. I'll sit on the outside and be the bad cop. You go in, you be the good cop. Because you're just a black man with a microphone. They're not going to be scared. They're going to come to your concerts. They'll give you money. They love you. All the corporations want to bring you to the office parties and all that. Fine. But use those damn connections to help your people. Shake them down. Go to when you're meeting the CEO of Apple and Bank of America and all the McDonald's and all that, then you come to them and say, we got $1 billion fund. We're raising $1 billion. We're partnering with experts from our community, and we need $1 billion so that we can go and start, 80 businesses and employ 20,000 people. Or we need $1 billion fund. We need you to put money in our fund in order to remain our friend. If you want to be down with Snoop Dogg or whatever, you want to be down with me, then put money in this $1 billion fund so that we can go build 300 schools in the black communities all across this country. Stop talking about one school. That's such small-minded thinking. The biggest barrier to success that in all of existence is small-minded thinking. So when you are talking about one guy who built one school, you can never win the game of white supremacy. When you're talking about one business, one school, one situation, you can never win the game of systematic white supremacy because you don't even know what game you're playing. You're playing a systematic game. It's like trying to win the Super Bowl when you got one player. You can't win the Super Bowl with one player, no matter how good that player is. You won't even get it. You can't even, they won't even let you in the game because they're going to say you're going to get killed because you need 11 on offense and 11 on defense. Then you need special teams and you need a coaching staff and you need a whole, about 100 people with you in order to win the Super Bowl. You can't win the Super Bowl with one person. So whenever anybody says, hey, well, LeBron built the school, not that I don't care about that school, but honestly, I don't care about that school. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I not that I don't care. I think one school's great, but I don't see white people saying, well, we got one school. That's why we're successful. No, white people have like probably 3,000 universities all across this country. White people have thousands of schools, right? So what we need thousands of schools. That can be done. You have the models out there. Has anybody ever visited the Muhammad University of Islam in Chicago? My Lord Jesus, if you go to that school, you'll be blown away because those kids are smarter than everybody's kids. Those kids are smarter than grown-ups up in that mug. The Nation of Islam already has the blueprint. They just need the money. They need y'all to stop running away from Farrakhan and getting scared every time they tell you that somehow he's dangerous. But yet they'll let somebody go. Pay attention now. They'll let somebody rap on Spotify all day about killing black people, but yet they're gonna try to convince you that Farrakhan's dangerous because he stands up for black people. Get out of here with that nonsense. Stop falling for the okie doke. Go to that damn school, raise $100 million so they can mass produce their business model and help people all across the United States. It doesn't make any sense. Pay attention now. This is how I know they don't love you. This is how I know that they don't love you. Stop saying Black Lives Matter. Stop it. I don't believe you. You're full of shit. The reason I know they don't love you is because all the bad ideas get all the funding in the world, and all the good ideas don't get any money at all. They'll put $1 trillion behind a really bad idea, but put no money behind the ideas that are already working. You got schools like Freedom Home Academy International operating on a damn shoestring budget, but they educating 12-year-olds like college students. But yet you will dump $10 billion into Chicago public schools that's producing tens of thousands of kids every year who can't even read. How the hell are you 18 years old and you done spent 100,000 hours in school and you can't read? That's insanity to me. So stop funding the bad ideas and start putting money into the good ones. The templates already exist in the community. The reason white-owned media ignores Black excellence that occurs in the community is because they do not want Black excellence to rise. If they really wanted Black excellence to rise, then they would find those in the community who are already getting it done, all those teachers, all those people running community centers, all those people running businesses with $1.15, and they would fund those sons of bitches. But they don't. They don't. They don't. They put the money into bullshit that doesn't do anything for anybody other than themselves. I'm done talking. I'm getting mad right now. This just makes me angry, man. I was out just last week with a guy named Tyrone Muhammad out of Chicago. This brother goes into neighborhoods that the police won't even go, and he stops gang violence. He's a former GD who did 21 years in prison. So he's cool. He's real close to Larry Hoover and everything else. This guy is out in the community getting it done, going places the cops can't even go, and they give him no money. All the Black Lives Matter money goes to white people. So stop pretending like you care about black people, because we know you don't. In fact, I've given up on that. I'm not asking them to care about black people. I'm asking you to care about black people. And to me, if you care about black people, you will take the time to ask the hard questions and have the hard conversations. You won't just celebrate nothingness as if it's something. Symbolism is a bowl of nothingness. At best, it has a psychological effect, but it's really nothing substantive that you can sink your teeth into. But there are real solutions out there. We just have to start listening, man. We just have to start listening. You get the people with the influence, connected with the people that have the real solutions, and then kaboom, you suddenly start scoring touchdowns. You start winning games. You start winning championships as a community. That's what I want to see for us. And I think the rappers are the key to this. This is why I'm not throwing the rappers away. We might be mad at them. Some of that stuff might be crazy to me. But at the same time, you know, they've broken into spaces a lot of us can't go. And I think it's a matter of them making the conscious decision to be intelligently guided on what your next move is so that you can have maximum bang for your buck. Because a lot of those people that are around you do not have your best interests at heart, and they certainly sure as hell don't care about your people. That's it, guys. I'm done talking. My wife is waiting on me. We about to go run. I need to run because I'm getting fat. Shout out to the Black Achievers in Louisville, Kentucky. I decided to be a title sponsor for their banquet. The Black Achievers gave me my first scholarship when nobody else would. I owe them everything, so I'm going to go to Louisville this weekend to support them. And also, like I said, Lene Javette is hosting the Power Her Conference, Power Her Business Conference for Women. If you want to join that, you can go to boycewatkins.com. That's going to be virtual. It's going to be really good. So feel free to go to boycewatkins.com. I have a link there. And also, if you want to join us tomorrow for stock market investing class, that link is there also. You can do a free trial in the class. All right, guys, stay blessed. If you could, please hit that thumbs up button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And also, if you want to support the channel, feel free to become a patron at intelligentblackpeople.com. I drop stock picks and special offers in there in exchange for your support. So we're trying to build Black-owned media, so we could really use your help with that as well. So the URL's on the screen. All right, guys, have a good night. God bless you. Love you. I'll see you soon. Take care now. Peace.